Barcelona once again destroyed Real Madrid last night in America by winning 3-0. A screamer from a La Masia kid, Ferran Torres scoring a goal as well as Ousmane Dembele showing what he's made of. Let's get right into the analysis, but before we do, please do subscribe to the channel as that will be helping us a lot to get this channel to grow. We do Barcelona content on a weekly basis, we post at least 3 times, but we also do mainly tactical analysis regarding FC Barcelona. So if you're new around here, please do subscribe. So let's start with the analysis to see how Oriol Romeu fit in the build-up phase. When Barcelona looked to build up, we saw that Koundé and Christensen were the ones who would split very wide next to Marc-Andre ter Stegen. And it was actually Romeu and Frenkie de Jong that would get like a double pivot. We did see that Vinicius Jr. on countless times tried to press from an angle to get the ball to go over to the other side, where we would see that Jude Bellingham would push up. Rodrigo was also on the other pivot. But these guys many a times dropped to the edge of the box where they would receive the ball. Even if they were followed, they would offload the ball to Christensen, where they could play the ball to Balde and Barcelona could look to press up on the wing on that side. So this didn't really have a problem. Like over here, we can clearly see that Vinicius Jr. is actually pressing from an angle. And we see that Frenkie de Jong is making his way to the edge of the box to be an outlet. We also see that Romeu and Christensen are totally keeping their positions, keeping Jude Bellingham and Rodrigo wide, which leaves Frenkie de Jong to drop into that space and release the ball over to Koundé. And Barcelona actually had a lot of success on this right side, which we'll be talking about a little bit more later on. Because Arsenal in the previous game played with a front three, when the ball would be switched over to the right back, we did see that Arsenal actually had their fullback come out to press the ball. But because Real Madrid have a midfield diamond, it was actually Camavinga who could step up and actually press, which left them equally on the other side or on the wing, a man-to-man situation. But we did see that Pedri was the one who came over, and we would actually have a 2-on-1 between Camavinga or a 3-on-2 on this total right wing on the side. That is what I was just talking about, Barcelona having some success, on this right-hand side specifically. This kind of drew the whole Real Madrid side to one place, and we all know that Balde was closely there on top. So this is what Barcelona was benefiting from having this type of situation, playing against the midfield diamond. You don't have enough pressure up front, and you can actually play around the pressure and then actually have the flanks open, which Xavi was focusing on a little bit more. You can see here that Arsenal was playing a lot of players up front in the box. They have 3. Therefore, this fullback actually had to come out and press. Otherwise, they would have been in big trouble. But when Real Madrid played against us last night, they actually had Camavinga way to the left-hand side, on the left-hand side of the midfield diamond, which enabled him to actually go over to the side and actually go and press Ronald Araujo, who had the ball at that time. So good play. The difference was in this game was actually the fact that Real Madrid had a midfield diamond. This kept their whole play centrally, which means that when Barcelona would actually get the ball out, there would be a lot of space for Barcelona on the wings, which means they could move the ball easily along and actually trash Real Madrid in these wide spaces. For an example, look at how much space Christensen has in front of him, but ter Stegen is actually kicking the ball the other way to Araujo. This is the problem with the 4-4-2 diamond. 3 guys central, there's nobody really pressing on the wings. You can see yet again Christensen receiving the ball. He has so much space that he can run into and guys that he can draw out of position. So this is why it shows that Barcelona was really spot on with their tactics. Look at Gundogan running into space yet again. So easy to drag. Look at their 4 guys around only our pivot. And this is the problem with Real Madrid's diamond. To compensate for the wings where the ball would go over to the right back, for an example, we saw that it was always Valverde and Camavinga that would actually get the ball to go in that space and cover the right wing for Real Madrid. This is where Pedri and Gundogan would get the ball just in behind of them. This drew actually Tchouaméni, Valverde and everybody central, And by the time the ball would get to Pedri, we already see Frenkie de Jong making this run in here where he could receive the ball and then Gundogan could receive it in the half space right there. So this is how they actually got the ball over to Balde, where Balde could get into these areas. Look at how easily Gundogan could get into acres of space where Frenkie de Jong can find him. This was the problem with the diamond, and they didn't have any pressure up front, so Barcelona could work easily through them. For the most part, in the final third, or the usual shape of Barcelona looked something like this, where we had the three centre backs, we had a double pivot. But what I liked about the double pivot was they were never really static, right? If Romeo received the ball, then Frenkie de Jong would make a run ahead of him where they could easily find each other. And then it becomes like a three-man attacking midfield. We saw this the same way the other way around. So Camavinga and Valverde really never did something, right? They would either have to go out wide to defend or they would stay back. But we did see that Gundogan and Pedri received the ball in these regions where Barcelona could easily have the 3 against 2 in this formation, in these regions right here. So Barcelona did really well tactically, and this is just proof that you don't need to have superstars in your team. You can just have great tactics and adapt really well to what the opposition do. So this was a great game for Xavi, great tactical display. We had a lot of players centrally. We even saw that Robert Lewandowski also dropped, right? His movement was sensational, where he would easily go up. We did see that Gundogan and Pedri was actually like second strikers sometimes, you know, where if they would go to the ball to receive and the defender would follow them, then Pedri could easily make his way into these regions. So it was a great tactical display overall from Xavi. Over here you can perfectly see our three-man defense with Koundé having the ball, Romeo and Frenkie de Jong as the double pivot, you know, like our usual tactics go, but they were more like fluid and they weren't static. Romeo and Frenkie de Jong wasn't really static, you know, like I just said. You can see here Frenkie de Jong runs ahead of Romeo, which makes it really difficult to mark the pivot. This was a great indicator to see where we are as a team. We saw some phenomenal performances from Frenkie de Jong, Pedri. Gundogan is still getting into his stride. We saw Romeo dropping a dime of a performance. We did see that Dembele was looking like himself, you know, like he normally does. We saw great performances from Koundé. So it was a really great all-round performance from Barcelona. I'm expecting to see a really great season for Barcelona. But that will be all from my side today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you saw what I saw, you know, and let me know down in the comment section what do you think about the game. Also like and share and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. We do videos regularly, and let's get Barcelona. Let's see how we do the season again. Goodbye.